Maybe it seems left of field, but there was a recent incident that inspired me, felt like it would be beneficial to somebody out here listening to really cover the idea or the breakdown, the dichotomy between creating a very strong culture and having a cult. And even prior, I had these ideations about, just the urban eloquence line, and one of which is based around language, spells. And one of the ones I wrote down years ago was critique your cult. Because culture is literally cult and your. The yours just behind the cult. So the culture is your cult, effectively. But a recent situation brought back to my attention just how dominant cult-like thinking can be inside of groups. But once you're in that group, if you fall prey to that thinking or those views of the world, sure, in certain situations that can be beneficial to an extent. But what I see happen more often than not is that people begin to lose their own self-identity within those cults. And so to be more pointed and more specific, people who join multi-level marketing companies, very, very often, what they wind up joining or why they join is literally the cult of personality, whoever is at the top of that chain. Whether it be the executive, the chairman, whatever the title is in that company, doesn't really matter. But there's this whole process of what they call edification. And the reason I know so much about this, is some of y'all may not know, I have been a part of several different multi-level marketing companies, technically, but I never recruited a single individual. Because I never joined to recruit people. I joined because my goofy ass thought in most of these companies that selling the product could actually make me money. Not that it can't, but so just a quick recap. The first one I ever signed up with was not Cutco, despite what many people believe. Cutco's not a multi-level marketing company, it's a sales company. But there are certain times of the year where if you recruit people who come in and they hit a certain sales volume, they count towards a payoff trip that you can get. But you get paid based on selling knives. And so then I tried this thing called Vima in college, right? People talk about BMWs, Verve. And so I joined that. A lot of guys in our high school did that. I'd never heard of it in high school. And so there was this dude I met. I won't throw his name out there. He's a good guy. He got out great timing right before the pyramid scheme fell, and they literally shut the company down. But, he was honest about what it was. He was like, yo, we got to go recruit people and we're going to get paid. But I never recruited anybody. I brought some protein powder, and I used to mix that and make little protein shakes with Fruity Pebbles when I lived in South Carolina running the Cutco office. And then he moved over to a different company called Modere, and they sold household products and goods. They're still around. And initially I transitioned, and then like a month in, I was like, yeah, I went to one conference. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm done. Like, this is stupid. Like, this ain't for me. And then further down the line, the last one I joined, and it was really to get intel because I wanted to see how it was run, was iMarkets Live. I'd already been trading, doing my own thing. I was
Forex?
Yes, Forex. And a buddy of mine, dude I trusted a lot, good spirit, had run it up and built a huge organization. Two dudes I went to college with, one dude that I knew prior to college, and they ran it up and went crazy. And so I'm like, okay, if anybody's gonna do this the right way and actually teach people the skill set, and that's what was interesting about the Forex thing, was that there was a tangible skill set being taught. Not just like some product that's kind of throwaway, but like, look, if you learn how to do this, you literally can just print money in a way. And so I said, you know what? Let me pay to have access to him inside of this organization to see how it's run. And so I did that for a while. I wanted to see how their signals were, all of that. I think I was in it maybe 3-4 months, but I'm still doing my thing on the side. And I'm like, all right, cool. I feel like I got the intel I needed. I'm out. And then today, the dude I went to high school with, different guy all together, sends me a message because earlier this week I made a post about a trade that I did. Right, this is cryptocurrency, it's not Forex, but when you trade a chart, doesn't matter if it's rice or Bitcoin, you trade in price action. And he sent me this message that was a screenshot of $500 that he said he turned into 10,000. He sent me a screenshot of his Cash App. No other context, out the blue. And so I hit him back and was like, hey, cuz, yo, congrats on making your 10K. However, I would just caution you if you find yourself in a situation where all you're getting is signals from somebody and they're not really teaching you the game behind all this works. Because especially when you join a trading multi-level marketing company, there is so much that happens on the back end. We don't have time to go into it, but just know there's a reason they can afford to pay these chairmans hundreds of thousands of dollars a month because they're making a substantial amount of money, and a lot of it is not from the recurring revenue subscriptions. It's from reading your order books. That's the short answer to that. But I hit dude with the message, and he doesn't say anything back to me other than a message saying how he took 500 and turned it into 10K. I hit it with another message that said, bro, stop talking to me crazy, speak like a human. Then he sent me, you can make 40K in 2 hours. And I blocked the nigga. And I tell that little anecdote to try to make this point that prior to him joining this, literally a year ago, he's hitting me up telling me about his comic book that he wants to finish writing and his daughter and all this other stuff. And now I'm getting these robo messages that are basically spam and very disingenuous. And I think that people who find themselves inside of any organization, it can be a multi-level marketing company, it could be a company on Wall Street. But if you realize once you're inside of it that there was this animosity or aggression towards people who think anything differently, you gotta be careful there, because it's one thing to try to maintain frame the same way that if you're a public speaker and you give a presentation to a room of 100 people, there's a reason they don't let you ask questions for a while, because you can lose control of the room. People start asking goofy questions. Somebody wants to heckle you, so you push all the questions, right? That's different than when somebody doesn't want anybody to think anything differently than what's going on. Because sure, just like you and I, when we sit down on Sundays, there's a certain energy that we maintain in our meetings, right? Nobody getting your feelings if we say something critical about what you did or what you didn't do. None of it is personal. It's all with constructive criticism in mind. But then you sometimes find people who they just kind of want to put blinders on everybody so that they don't really see what might be taking place. And this definitely was nothing that I had any intention to speak about today. But when I got that message, it was just like, damn.
For the third time.
For the third time. I gave him a couple chances, bro. And it was with that in mind, because initially when launching Native Assets, there was no intention to have anything other than just a full-blown mentorship. Intention being, I can impact people more deeply, more profoundly, more intimately if we're working on it one-on-one. But obviously that's a different requirement. It's not an inexpensive thing, right? It's several $1,000s, just full disclosure. But we're willing to help you. We're ready for you if you're ready. But having taken a moment to step back and ask myself, at the same time, you can either help fewer people, perhaps at a deeper level, or you can help way more people. And the idea typically is that you can't do that at a deep level, but I disagree. It's about how it's structured and what you set people up for. And out the gate, the whole intention was to teach people how to fish. And too often when people join things, specifically these multi-level marketing companies that are associated with investing and trading, too many of them don't actually teach the people the skills they need to know. They bring them in, they indoctrinate, they rework the thinking, they get them really bought into belief because they point to the person at the top who usually made most of their money because they got hundreds of people beneath them, not because they're a good trader. You can be, but how often do you see these dudes put their trades out? How often do you see them actually do anything? Whether it's Forex, whether it's somebody telling you that they can promise that you'll be, 10 pounds lighter, or that you'll have closed 20 real estate deals, or that you'll have 40 cars on Turo. It doesn't matter. But are they showing you proof that they do it? Not that they know somebody that does it, not that they know what goes into it, but that they do it. And yeah, man, I just wanted to speak a little bit to that, to try to just shake some people out of maybe the malaise or the tunnel vision when they do get too bought into these personalities or the dreams of people. And when you see other people making money, you see other people doing well, and you believe too intensely maybe that you'll just be the average of these people.